Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. Did you know that there is a direct correlation between helping your clients get results and their ability to establish and work through and have daily functioning routines? Did you know that? Did you know that in order for you to get results in the things that you're trying to accomplish on a daily basis, whether it be in fitness, nutrition, exercise, whatever it is, there's a direct correlation, just like with your clients, between results, okay, and the daily routines that you have established and that you work through regularly. Today's video is going to be focused on results, and I'm going to talk about it from the perspective basically from daily nutrition exercise components that we're looking at to help our clients. But we're going to look at results today, right? Because that's what we're interested in getting. And your clients obviously are paying for you to help them to get results. But we're going to talk about those results with respect to routines. And what I want to do with you today in this video is also just give you the top three. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of strategies that I use, but there are three of the most critical ones that I use and that I've always used with my clients to help them to get to results. So results equal, right, routines. It doesn't mean there are those are the only things that help people get results, but for sure, if you can get routines set up in your life, and then you can coach your clients to get routines set up in their lives and help them, coach them, assist them, hold them accountable to follow basic routines, you're going to be surprised and you're going to get some great results with your clients. And I want to go over the top three with you. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do is pull up our PowerPoint slide real quick. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things that will help you when it comes to helping individuals develop routines. And there's three things. Look, do you want results? You got to get routines. Please don't confuse routines and habits. See this all the time. A routine is not a habit. A habit is an actual behavior that you don't have to think about. Now, if you've gone through the modules and you're on module 5, for instance, you'll get to the lifestyle behavior modification component of this, and it will start to make more sense. Habits are physical behaviors. These are the things we do that become automated. So biting your nails, for instance, when you're stressed or when you're bored, that's a habit. You don't have to think about it. It doesn't take any energy to do it. Like I say, it's automatic. It's like you're a robot almost. Routines are not habits. Routines actually are relatively difficult to do. Okay, so routines are generally going to be groupings of habits that you put together. Well, hopefully they become habits that you group together. But routines are initially groupings of behaviors. So you have a morning routine. You have a basic routine, for instance, when you go to do personal hygiene, right? As you go into the shower and then you do all these different behaviors and you do them over and over. And that becomes a consistent way of behaving, right? Or a consistent way of doing particular behaviors in a coordinated fashion. So in general, give you another example. If you're, let's just say you're making your breakfast, or your morning routine is waking up and doing a couple of different things before you go to work. Generally, my morning routine is going to be making coffee. I always do that first because that's my routine. So these are behaviors that are done in a coordinated, consistent fashion. And very seldom will I ever cook my breakfast and then make my coffee. No, I always do my coffee first. So the routine are actual behaviors that I'm doing in a coordinated, regular, consistent fashion. Routines are critical for the governance of our lives on a daily basis. Without routines, we would have to think way too much about how to do things and get things done. So routines develop out of a need to have consistency and structure in our daily lives. Routines can, but not all routines can do this, but routines can actually become more like habits. So, although it still takes mental effort for me to go over to my espresso machine, put the coffee in, get the water, yada, yada, all the steps to do it, even though I have to think about it, it has become less of a mental task to do it. I still have to think about it, which means it's still a part of the routine. Okay, so making coffee is a behavior that is routine for me. It has become less psychologically challenging to do because I've done it so many times. I do it every single day for the most part, that it becomes almost habit like. However, it is not a habit. Okay. Remember, habits and routines are different. So, without getting too far off the beaten track, if you want results, and of course, I'm going to specify what we're talking about with results. I'm talking about how their clients, how your clients' bodies, how their bodies change because of the consistency of the behaviors that they do on a regular basis, right? And that is generally going to come down to their exercise, obviously, and their eating. Okay. So you want results, get routines. But here's what we want to talk about today. These are the top three routine developing strategies. I remember when I went into the Army, that's where I really learned how to be routine oriented, how to develop structure and strategies to make sure that I was successful, that I was getting results, right? And sometimes success in that context, success was actually just getting up on time, getting dressed, and having everything neat and clean, and having my locker squared away, okay, so to speak. So that would have been success for me. So I had to develop these strategies and learning from others, reading, and then figuring out for myself. I got these top three things that I realized not only helped me, but then when I would give it to my clients, it was very helpful for them. The problem is that if you give your clients a list of 10 things to do to develop routines, that's just not going to work. Okay. Individuals generally want things to be simple. So, what was number one? Number one was use existing routines that you already have. If you are an adult, teenager, adult, you already have routines. Now, some of you know, some of you are a hot mess and you know it. You know you have no structure in your life. Okay, I know that. I've had clients. They're just from a structure standpoint in their lives because of whatever reason. It doesn't matter to me what the reason is. The fact is you're a hot mess, and you know it. You can't keep your this straight. You can't. I get it. No problem. Everybody can develop routines because even the most distracted individual, even the person that is completely out in left field when it comes to structuring their lifestyle has routines. Yes, you do. And the first part is in the morning. And this is where I will tell my clients, this is what I recommend. What do you do when you wake up in the morning? Generally, you have at least one, two, maybe three things that you normally do, or at least I hope you do. Okay, number one is you go in and you use the bathroom, right? You void your bladder, right? You go pee, you do whatever you got to do. And again, I know folks who are just all over the place. They bounce off walls. They have no structure in their lives. But you know what they do every day? They get up in the morning and they use the bathroom. And I hope that you brush your teeth and wash yourself up. And if that's the case, you have now existing routines, and that's what you want to piggyback off of. And you've probably heard it said that if you can couple a behavior with an existing behavior, that new behavior that you're trying to get in on a regular basis can actually now kind of form fit into that structured routine that you already have. The classic example, of course, is drinking a glass of water in the morning. Now, generally, what I do is I get up, do what I have to do in the bathroom. I come outside, and I've got a very structured way I take care of my morning. Now, I've got to drink I got to drink water, and normally it's with limes or, any other, maybe a vitamin C, doesn't really matter. But I try to get a glass of water right in as I make my way over to the coffee pot, like I told you. Okay. Well, let's just say I don't do that. I don't drink water, but I do brush my teeth before I even go out to get coffee. I brush my teeth in the morning. Guess what I could do? I could go ahead and just have a glass of water or keep a glass by my sink, and now I can add this behavior. I can piggyback, and that's what using existing routines is all about. Is I piggyback off an existing routine. I'm already brushing my teeth. I don't have to think about that, even though it's part of my morning routine. It's almost habitual. It's easy. It's relatively easy to do. I'll keep a if this was the case. I don't have to do this, but I'm giving you an example of what you could do or recommend to your client to do. So whatever that existing behavior is, maybe it's brushing your teeth, whatever. Now have a glass of water next to your sink, and as soon as you finish that one behavior, drink a glass of water. What have you done? You've piggybacked off of it. Again, this is just a strategy. Maybe you do it today, but you don't do it tomorrow. Well, it's like anything else. Once you start to get into the habit, see where I use the word habit, habitual behavior, routines over and over and over and over again, it becomes almost difficult not to do it, which is what a habit is. So you can use existing routines. And the goal here is, as the trainer, you are trying to pull out, using open-ended questions with your clients, you're trying to pull out information about their pre-existing routines. Well, what do you do at lunchtime? What do you do at night? What is your evening routine? Okay. And this is where you look for opportunities to get another behavior in and piggyback it off of the existing routine that they already have. Okay. This is critical. Number two, you got to keep it simple. If you don't keep it simple, it ain't going to work. Period. This is my experience for myself personally, for my wife, for my kids, for people I know, for clients that I've trained. It's really simple. If you don't keep it simple, it ain't going to be simple. And if it ain't simple, it ain't going to work. Okay. If you suggest to your client, hey, try doing this, and then you write them out this list of 20 things they need to do to develop a routine, it's not going to work. Okay. Routine development requires a level of discipline. And unfortunately, most folks that I've trained don't have strongly established disciplines. Some did. Routine, piggybacking routines, developments, things like that, no problem. But for the vast majority of them, it was always a struggle. So you got to keep it simple. One thing that you do right now. Tell me one thing that you do every morning that you know you do every morning or every evening. Well, when I eat dinner at night, it's always at 6. I always eat with my family. Perfect. That is the time when you'll take your supplements if you forget to take your supplements in the morning. Or that would be the time when you do A, B, C, or D, or whatever the case is. Use the existing routines, but keep it simple when you're explaining this. That is the second thing. Simplicity, by the way, is probably, for the most part, in many cases, for just behavioral change strategies in general, need to be simple. And for some people, it needs to be written down. It needs to be very, formalized, so that they can look at it. The old putting it on the refrigerator to check their schedule. My daughter, for instance, just got a job, so she's got to have her schedule, and she put it on the refrigerator. So now everybody can see it, because probably she's going to have struggles not remembering her schedule, but now it's on paper. Well, her existing routine is to come downstairs, make breakfast, this or that. And every time she does that, or every time I'm down there, I can look at that schedule. And now I've piggybacked off of a normal routine. And now this new behavior is to look at the schedule and make sure that we are on track for that. Third one, last but not least, and this is probably one of the most important things I could ever help my clients with. What was their why? Why were you doing this in the first place? This is really important when it comes to nutrition, I have found. Exercising and kind of making sure you get to the gym is generally easier in one sense from a behavioral modification standpoint. It's the nutrition. This is where your why becomes critically important. Okay. Why did you come on board with me? Why are you training with me? It's not because you wanted to eat 6 meals a day, and it's not because you wanted to train hard and feel like you're going to throw up when we train. No, that's not why you did it. You did it because you wanted to, boom, get into your dress at the end of this. Keep bringing that up to your clients as necessary. You're missing your workouts, this and that. Just real quick, John, real quick, Mary, do you remember what the goal was? Yeah, I know, lose 20 pounds, lose 30 pounds. Come on, let's focus on that and let's get back to the why. And sometimes that could be it. That could be the impetus for them to make sure that they change their routines, which is instead of going out to lunch with their friends, which is a normal standard routine for, what are you getting them to do? To shift over into this new routine, which is when it's lunchtime, you get your meal prep, remember, meal prep critical, and you put that and you eat that for lunch. Without the why, it's really difficult, folks. So number one, look at the routines you already have. How can you piggyback off them? Second, keep that behavioral change, that new behavior, for instance, or that piggyback component of it. Keep it simple. Make it simple. I do this. Now I'm just going to do this with it. Maybe do it beforehand or do it afterwards, or do it with it, just as a for instance. And then always reiterate. Well, not every day, but reiterate with your client their why. Why was it that we started this? What gives gasoline to the routine development engine? What gives gas to that? It's the why. Why am I doing this? Because I want to look a certain way, because I want to fit into my clothes a certain way. Yeah, that's what you're doing when you're holding people accountable. Let's keep in mind, let's remember, you wanted to lose 30 pounds by June. By August, we needed to get you to that's what you told me, and I'm committed to helping you with that. Let's go ahead and get back on track. Okay, let's get the routine of eating in the morning. None of this, I'll eat at lunch because I'm not hungry. No. Your morning routine of drinking coffee now has to add a shake, a meal. Hope that makes sense. Keep in mind, these are not the only routine developing strategies, but these are my top 3 that I recommend. If you can get those in there, look, I'm not sure it's in that order. Some folks more than likely would probably say that third one that I had, know what your why is, that should be first. If I know what my why is, you're not going to hurt my feelings if that's the first thing you bring up to your clients. But those are really generally going to be the top 3 things. There are other things. And if you have questions on those and you want to know what those other strategies are, we can really scratch below that surface, and we can get very granular. You can learn all that obviously as you're going through the rest of the modules. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. And if you do have questions or comments, please leave them below. And of course, you can hit the bell so you can get notifications when the content does come out. As always, it's a pleasure to help you out in the personal training business and field. We go over exercise, we go over nutrition, all of these trainer tips that I'm giving you each week, you should be able to use in some way, shape, or form with your clients. If you don't have clients right now, that's okay. You're going to have them, and you're going to need some of this information. Whether you're doing small group training, whether you're doing one-on-one training, this information each week should be something that you can take away and utilize with your clients, whether you got 1 client or you got 10 clients or 20 clients. Okay. Just let us know how we can help you out, of course, and leave your comments below. Have a great weekend. We will see you next week. Thanks.